Come hang out with me on my first ever solo cruise aboard the Discovery Princess for days 4 through 7, where I try Octopus for the first time, visit the magnificent ports of Mazatlan and Puerto Vallarta, and stay up way past my bedtime, dancing the night away with my new friends. All right, we're at Mazatlán today. Really excited about this port. I've never been here. That's the great thing about cruising is you just wake up every day and you're in a new place. And it's even better when it's somewhere that's brand new to you, like you've never been there before. So I'm really excited about Mazatlán. I'm going with a few other people from the ship and we are gonna walk, they call it the Blue Line. I guess it's kind of the scenic route through and around town. And I'm gonna take you guys along with us. So let's go. Good morning. Thank you. As soon as we entered the port shopping area, Mazatlán was setting the tone. You could get everything from a quick fix massage for $5 all the way up to a full-blown tune-up for $25. This famous Blue Line guides passengers all the way from the cruise terminal directly into Centro Histórico, or the historic center of the city. If you follow this, you'll be guaranteed not to miss any important landmarks, making this an easy port for a self-guided tour. We got to the city center just in time to watch a reenactment of a fire dance ritual. Mexico is famous for celebrating its Mesoamerican heritage, and Mazatlán was no exception. After watching that mesmerizing performance, we continued our walk to the Basilica Cathedral of Mazatlán. This cathedral dates back to the 1800s.
Dirijamos elevando nuestras súplicas a Dios, conscientes de que sin su ayuda nada podemos. Escuchamos a cada petición que siempre trae la música.
We continued our walk through the bustling streets of the city and found this mercado along the way. Mexican mercados are more than just places to shop. They are the beating heart of the community. And it is a true sensory journey, a kaleidoscope of colors, sounds, and scents. Stalls filled with produce and handmade crafts and street food bursting with flavors and scents that immediately immerse you into Mexican culture. As I was walking with the group, I saw this raised flower-lined path across the street, and I assumed we'd come out at the same place. But as I walked, it soon became apparent that there was no clear end, or way down for that matter. Luckily, my new friends were willing to wait while I found some help and finally a way down. Next stop, lunch at this cute little beachfront restaurant. And the name of this restaurant is, what is it? Sinaloense. The name of the restaurant is Sinaloense. And so I got the shrimp chimichangas. We'll see if it's any good. It was, in fact, very good. And my table mates got a shrimp salad. I got some seafood guacamole, which I found out later had octopus in it, but more on that in a bit. My other shipmate got a chicken taco salad, and everything was super yummy, except for, well, let me just show you. There's octopus in my seafood guacamole, and I didn't know that, or I wouldn't have ordered it, but we're gonna try it. I'm not a very adventurous eater. I had to really gather my courage here. Okay, so obviously that didn't go so well. I still highly recommend the restaurant though. It just turns out I'm not an octopus kind of girl. We continued our walk along the Mazatlan Malecón. The Malecón is a 7-kilometer long oceanfront seawall that runs the length of the bay. We were at a portion called the Paseo Clausen, where there are a string of monuments like this mermaid known as La Sirena, who has Cupid, the god of love, at her side. And this statue of Benito Juarez, a former beloved president of Mexico. And then there was this awesome water slide that went straight into a pool at the ocean's edge. And now we were headed to watch the famous cliff divers. This is a spot where local divers perform several times a day, every day of the week, for tips from tourists. And they jump from a height of about 50 feet into the rolling waves below. After all this and a lovely day in Mazatlán, we were all very happy, but also pooped. So it was time to head back to the ship and get a little rest before changing for dinner and this evening's festivities. Dinner brought me right back to Gigi's Pizzeria, even though I'd already been here before, and I decided to come back with friends from the walk anyways, because it was just that good. Next was silent disco, and yes, I know it's a little cringy and uncomfortable to watch on video, but seriously, one of the things I look forward to most on a cruise. So I'm gonna leave you to a couple of cringy, uncomfortable moments and watch us have a really good time. And now karaoke. I was truly feeling like a party animal by this point, and this lady was really good. Check her out. Well, that's it. Day 4 was a wrap. I got to bed really, really late, and these sounds coming from my balcony as we pulled away from port pretty much sums up how I felt about Mazatlán. Today's port was Puerto Vallarta. We met a lovely couple on board, Michael and Louisa, who actually live in Puerto Vallarta and offered a few of us a private tour. I'll leave a link to their YouTube channel, Retired Life Mexico, in the description below. They did offer a tram service from the ship to the port, but we opted to walk and take the scenic route. And also, we skipped taking taxis because Louisa said it was cheaper for us to take an Uber. The first thing we saw upon arriving in the city center was Our Lady of Guadalupe Church. I keep saying that they're always celebrating something in Mexico, and we got here to Puerto Vallarta, and it's they're having their Revolution Day parade today. So yeah, we get to see a parade today. Nope, I lied. We didn't get to see the parade because Michael and Louisa had other things on the agenda for us today. The goal was for us to get off the main tourist loop and experience a more local and authentic version of Puerto Vallarta. My cruise buddy couldn't resist getting a selfie with Liz. Legend has it that Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton came here in 1963 to film a movie. She loved it so much that he gifted her with a home here the very next year. So now we're in a spot called Gringo Gulch. So that's what they call it here because a lot of expats live here. So let me show you guys around. Ringo Gulch is famous for housing a lot of expats and also for being the location of Elizabeth Taylor's home named Casa Kimberly. They eventually built another home across the street and connected them with this bridge known as the Lover's Arch, which was actually a replica of the Bridge of Sighs in Venice. Next, we headed to a restaurant called La Capella to see the amazing view from the bar of the Church of Our Lady of Guadalupe. It was beautiful seeing this from the ground, but it was absolutely stunning from here. On our way back to the beach area, we stopped at this cute little artisan chocolate and coffee shop called Jocodiva. This was the great thing about having a local guide. And I'm going to pass this tip on to you. If you're in Puerto Vallarta, stop by because the chocolates and the cold coffee drinks were absolutely delicious. After our coffee and chocolate break, we continued our walk through the neighborhoods of Puerto Vallarta. We passed through more urban areas, as well as peaceful riverside neighborhoods where we even got to see some little iguanas in the trees. Well, maybe not so little.
It's so cute.
And that leads us, unfortunately, to our last stop of the day, which was the Malecón or boardwalk in Puerto Vallarta. We passed through beautiful, colorful markets. Once again, those seem to be plentiful in Mexico, as well as cute little statues that seem to be everywhere along this stretch of beach. And finally, the ocean. Puerto Vallarta is home to the world's largest Catrina, which you can see here. The Catrina is an iconic symbol of Day of the Dead. Dressed in all of her finery, it is a reminder that regardless of social status, death comes to us all. You gotta love a country that can turn something as somber as death into a fiesta and a means of coming together. Just one of the many reasons why I adore this country. We're done. We're done walking around. We're just waiting on our Uber. It says it's like 5 more minutes out. It's super hot here, so I can't imagine what it's like here in the summer, but it's also gorgeous. Definitely going to come back, not on a cruise ship, and spend some time. Like, there's so much to do and so much to see, and the thing about a cruise is it's like a sampler of the destination. So Puerto Vallarta, I'll be back for sure. Another fun day was wrapping up on this solo cruise that turned out to be not so solo after all. I think this experience has really spoiled me, and I'm curious to see how my next solo adventure will be. Gonna be hard to top this one. So make sure you hit that subscribe button because you won't want to miss my next solo adventure on Virgin Voyages. Back on board, I spotted this couple with these adorable shirts on. If I can't find a love like this, I don't want it at all. Dinner that night on ship was at O'Malley's, our favorite spot. And to be honest with you, I'm not really sure what this was. It was an appetizer, but I was already a few drinks deep at this point. What I can tell you is that the fish and chips that I had, not so great. Probably wouldn't order it again. But the dessert, I tried this chocolate cake and the apple pie tart thing that I had with ice cream. Very, very, very good. After dinner, we watched this dance competition where they paired everybody up with complete strangers and they had to compete, and it was hilarious. They just kept getting more and more outrageous. And after that, we were so hyped up, we had a dance party of our own. I would say that we wrapped up the night after that, but we hung out pretty late in the Vista Lounge. Okay, hey y'all. My voice is gone a little bit. It's always a good sign on a cruise that you've had a good time. I think it's just a lot of hey last night in the Vista Lounge. So I just wanted to come check in and say I haven't vlogged as much as I intended to. It has been a fantastic experience. So it definitely won't be my last, especially as I venture into this new phase of solo travel. You know, I've always traveled with my children, who are all adults now except for Eli. You all know Eli if you've seen some of my other videos. I am recently divorced, so this is a whole new way of traveling for me. You know, my kids are all gone and out of the house except for Eli, and I only have him half of the time. So this is going to be a new adventure, and I didn't know how social I would be. Turns out I was pretty social and I stayed pretty busy, and I didn't do the things that I normally do on a cruise, like test out the specialty restaurants, and you know, I was mainly just socializing and sitting and talking with people a lot of the time on this ship. But I still have a lot of opinions on my experience overall with Princess. You know, the food, the entertainment, the venues, the ship layout, the level of service, just all of it. So I'm going to give you all a detailed review of my overall experience with Princess and tell you whether or not I will try Princess again. Okay, so I am going to try to film a little bit on my last day here. It's going to be so sad to leave all the new friends that I've made on this trip. And boy, it sure does help ease you into the solo travel life to connect with other people, because I've also connected with several other solo travelers on this cruise ship. Anyways, let's go enjoy our last day, guys. Okay, guys, so I lied again. I didn't record anything on the last day. I just really tried to soak in every moment with all the new friends that I made on this perfect first solo cruise. So if you've enjoyed this video, as always, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. And until next time, as always, happy cruising.